Hub, which is the VUEROID app for the S1 4K, has some neat little features to it, and we're going to look at one here today, and that is a history of your driving. And what we'll do is, when you're in the Hub app, after you've connected to the S1 4K, the bottom right corner you'll see the More and the little hamburger sign. So you push on that, and then you see History at the very top, and you press on History, and we sit and wait. And what's happening now is that there's a history on the SDXC disk on the S1 4K. There's some files there that contain records. They're hidden files, and they can contain records for GPS and driving data. What we're looking at here is the dashboard. And so we see the date is February the 22nd, 2026. And we see a graph there. And we see 3 stacks, violet colored stacks. And they have dates under them. And we see the one with the 12, the very far right, says 12 on it. And that's telling us that so far today I have driven 12 miles. But I want to look at one on the 20th, on a record on the 20th, and show you something. And there's a couple of ways to get there. But what we're going to do is, if you see in the upper left-hand corner here, you see some chevrons or some lesser than signs. And we're just going to push on the single one. And if you see, the date changes to the 21st, and we'll push on that single one again, and the date changes to the 20th. And now we're looking at the same records, but they've scooted over a little bit to the right. And what we see is that on the 20th of February, we have 37 miles that we have driven. And it's telling us that the driving record time was 1 hour and 55 minutes and 38 seconds. And there's parking time and parking motion events and parking impact events. So we're going to press on driving record about the middle of the screen. We're going to press on that, and since we're on the 20th at the top of the dashboard, it's going to open the records for the 20th. And these are GPS records. And we're going to look for one in particular right here. I want to show you something on this, and we're going to look at this one here. It says 33 minutes and 13 seconds off on the right, and it's from 10:14 and 47 seconds to 10:48. And we're going to press on that, and so we'll bring up a Google map. And what this is showing is where I drove for that driving session. So it's from start to stop. Actually, what it is from when I turn the engine on to when I turn the engine off, and the car goes into, or not the car, but the S1 4K goes into either a parking mode or just completely shuts down, depending on the option. And what I want to show you here is, let's squeeze this map out right here, and we're going to see that I am at a convenience store, a rather large convenience store named Sheetz. And you see 2 targets there, and you see the blue balloon with the car on the one target. That's where I parked, or where I parked when I pulled in. And when I started the engine up, that is where I started from. And the second dot at the lower left shows where I finished. So we're going to show this drive. And this is how accurate this GPS is. It can show my 2 different places in this parking lot. So we're going to squeeze this down a little bit right here. And down at the bottom of the screen, you can see driving distance and the top speed and the average speed, and if there were any impact events while I was driving. But you see also a slide bar. And what we're going to do is touch that slide bar. As you can see, it takes me all along to where I drove for that time frame. It follows it, continues to follow it, and we'll just keep right on going. And it's going to bring me back here very shortly to where I started, to my point that I started at. but it's going to show where I parked. And here we come, back again into the same location, and there is where I parked. So it is accurate enough to show where I started from in one location, and when I return to that location, in this case it's a convenience store, where I parked in their parking lot. So that is pretty neat. It's a neat little feature. So we're going to back out of that a little bit. And I want to show you, if you see up here on the date, 2026/02/20, if you look at the top left, you'll see two less than symbols. And if I push on that, it's going to index us a full month back. So now we're on January the 20th, and there's no drive records for there. And if I hit the two greater than signs on the right-hand side, it takes me back to the 20th. So let's exit from there.
Starting recording.
And we'll go back to home. I want to show you something else here. This app has the capability of keeping track of all of your S14Ks. So if you're at the top here, you see the little camera icon, you can push this to the left, and there's another S14K that I have used this Hub app on. And when you first start with a new camera, you're going to have this Find Device, and when you do the setup, you hit the Find Device, and it comes out and it will find this camera that you're trying to set up. That's pretty neat. I just want to point out a few things about Hub here. I hope you enjoyed it.